What was the BBC like in those days? Do you think there was any cover-up? Were you aware of anything going on, or do you think this is all just the press hyping this up?
I think a lot of it must be hype. Some stuff must have been going on. I never heard about it. I never saw any of it. And as for blaming the BBC, that's pathetic, because in all my time at the BBC, 16 years, I think I saw an executive in my dressing room twice in 16 years. You can't blame those guys if somebody was being naughty in a dressing room. But in our time there, people weren't allowed in dressing rooms.
We were working too hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You worked 7 days a week, and most of those days were 14, 16-hour days. It wasn't 12-hour days. You were just doing your job.
Yeah. No, there was nothing as far as I was concerned.
It is terrifying. I mean, Jim Davidson, I know we've just talked about trashy reality TV, managed to, I don't know how, come out of Celebrity Big Brother as a hero. I don't know how he pulled that off, because at some point the papers were pointing out all his sexism, racism, all the stuff they throw at him. His year was devastated last year by one allegation. How does it feel to be a star of your magnitude, to know that one rumour from one person can literally end your career? He lost all his live bookings. He had no work until Celebrity.
That's always been the way. That has always been the way. If you go back to the time of Max Wall left his wife. He was a long time ago, very, very funny man and a big star. And he left his wife and he went off with Miss Britain or Miss England or something like that. The press murdered him. He was out of business for decades. I mean, it has always been the way. Charlie Drake, another one, he lost it. And so what happens is, anybody that picks on a rumour... Now, there's an oddity here. There is an oddity here. I am not allowed to talk about anything directly related to Yewtree and its investigations. And that's legally binding upon me, because I typed it all out, put it, being me, Yorkshireman, tell the truth like it happens, and I typed it all out and put it on my blog. One day later I had to take it off. There it is. And I was just talking common sense. That was it.
Do you feel it's become a witch hunt and something that they can sort of get in the papers?
That's what I mean. I'm not even allowed to say that.
So what you're saying that you're not allowed to say is that you wrote something and you were asked formally to remove whatever it is that we can't talk about.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to pass comments or anything on it. And in a way, I guess they're right, because you're in a real no-win situation. You get branded with the same horrible brush that one or two have been branded with and found guilty.
And that was Jim's point, the things he was accused of that weren't even true were nothing to do with children, which of course is where this Operation Yewtree thing has really gone askew, isn't it?
Perhaps, I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I've lost all interest in all that, to be honest, and because I'm not allowed to pass comment on it, I don't bother with it. And we know quite well people who have been accused and this, that, and been stunned by the accusations, but we can't defend, we can't speak out, we can't anything.
And it's difficult because when you're in the limelight, I googled you today, for example. Have you been googled before, by the way?
Yes, many times.
I googled you. The first thing that comes up, Paul Daniels has 300 mistresses before Debbie. That's one of the headlines. They love to write this stuff. It feeds them, but it's equally damaging and can bring you down, can't it?
My line is I wrote that. I wrote it in. I wrote that. Yes, it's good for publicity, and it's things like when they say, "By hell, Paul, you're right lucky to have Debbie McGee." I said, "You don't know how many I auditioned." I mean, to me, everything is comedy. I have a wonderful, happy life. I have a fabulous wife. Yes, things suddenly slam you down, but you got to get up and fight again,
When I thought 300, at what point would you lose count? I mean, 12, 13, 14, surely. I mean, it's a big number, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I had a 4-poster bed, and I counted the notches, and no, it's just I was writing an autobiography, and I don't think it's right that you should write an autobiography and leave stuff out. It's part of your life. It was part of the time, part of the era. And what people forget is it was over 10 years. I was divorced for 10 years,
18 years. 18 years you were divorced for.
18 years I was divorced. See? Who's counting? You are. I'd just like you to welcome my memory stick. And so... So it was a long time, and if you do that, and at the time I was doing one-night stands in clubs all over the place, showbiz one-night stands as well. And
one night's all they can stand?
All I could stand, and it's just, so it was just part of the scene, nothing.
And again, what's the point of being in show business if you can't celebrate it?
No, well, I shall say nothing. I was at school.
I just realised where I went wrong. It was celebrate. And it's not, it's celebrate. Anyway, yes, go on.
Guys, it's really lovely to talk to you. Thank you for the show tonight. A terrific, wonderful show that I read today is going to the West End. You've got this show running, I think, next month for a while, and people in London can come and see you.
Yeah, we've had such a good tour, which, it started in September, that's how these dates happened after Christmas. We were meant to finish in December, and, we're at the Jermyn Street Theatre for the last week of Feb.
Brilliant. And we need more of this. We need more of your people.
Conjuring, that's what we want.
Not so much of that, more ad-libbers, people who can stand on stage. It's your confidence. That's what came across tonight. Above everything else is the fact that nothing can floor either of you. If the tricks went wrong, it wouldn't matter, would it? You'd find a way out.
I always, when I'm designing stuff for the stage, I always then go through every detail of where it could go wrong, and I've got plan B.
And you're normally plan C because he's always got you on the side as well, and he can bring you on at any point and you're there waiting.
Exactly. You're right, Alex. Yeah, I'm usually there. And it has happened. What Paul will do, because he goes on and has a party every night, he'll suddenly decide that he fancies doing something else that's in the dressing room. So, Muggins used to end up rushing up loads of stairs. Debbie, get me a so-and-so.
And the final question I've got to ask is, Paul Daniels is the star, but you're the one everybody remembers. Is it fun being you? I mean, you're talked about so much. Everybody knows your name, Debbie McGee. Everybody knows what you look like. I mean, you're one of a unique, small number of people in show business. You've mastered something incredible, haven't you?
Well, I'm sort of not aware of it myself. I just kind of get on with living.
She says that, but Paul McCartney knew her name and her legs went wobbly.
Yeah, that's the only time I've kind of really been aware of it. And I met Paul McCartney, who I adore. And, my Paul went to say, and this is quite a few years ago now, this is Debbie, but before he got my name out, Paul McCartney went, "Oh, hello, Debbie," and I went,
Congratulations. What's your website so people can find the tour dates?
I'm pauldaniels.co.uk. We've got magicandfancydress.com. We've got pauldanielsmagicshop.com. And they're all being revamped. It's wonderful. And yes, we're on Twitter. I'm the Paul Daniels and Debbie the Debbie McGee.
And should I want to poke you on Facebook, where do I go there?
Facebook's complicated, isn't it? Yes, it's for old people. We're Twitter people.
Listen, lovely to talk to you. Congratulations on the show, and I'll see you again soon. Let's talk again.
Get a better photographer. You're better looking live.